Hello and welcome to the Girl That Went For It podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Scholz, also known as Johanna Lian on Instagram, and author of Believe in Life, How to Dance in the Rain. If you want to live your dream life and become the best version of yourself, then this podcast is for you. I hope that I can inspire and encourage you to never give up and to always believe in yourself. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Johanna_Liana, for daily content. And now enjoy this episode. I can't believe this is my second coffee talk. If you're wondering what am I talking about, what is a coffee talk? I decided to do a series of episodes where we basically talk about anything you asked me as if we are catching up for a coffee. So yeah, if you haven't listened to the first one yet, I think it's episode, I actually don't remember what episode number it is, but I'm going to check it in the show notes so you can just simply click on the link and listen to the first one. If you want to be part of my coffee talks, feel free to send me your message, your question on Instagram. You can also send me a voice message and I can put in like a little voice note of you in my podcast. And before I start this episode, I want to say something that I'm really excited about, and I know I've mentioned in the past episodes, but I just can't wait. And when I upload this episode, the countdown will be on, and from today, it's 12 days until the first call of the Aligned Life Mastery Group Coaching. So if you're still on the fence and are kind of thinking, oh yes, I want to join the group coaching, then this is your sign to join, because something deep down is telling you that you are ready to live a life more in alignment with yourself. For those who are listening for the first time or haven't heard about the Aligned Life Mastery group coaching yet, it's a group coaching by me where I teach you over 4 weeks how to live a life in alignment with yourself. I will share my tools, how to figure out what it is you actually want, how to figure out what sets your soul on fire, and also what is holding you back, like what kind of limiting beliefs you have that you might not be aware of. It's so nice when you open up and talk about what's holding you back or what you're struggling with, because you will realize that you're not alone, and it's so good to connect with others and just share your experience in life and learn how to overcome those limiting beliefs and live a life in alignment with yourself. So yes, the first call is on the 3rd of October New Zealand time, which is the 2nd of October European time. And like I said, it's a group coaching over 4 weeks. We have a live call every week, but don't worry if you can't make it to every live call. You will have access to the recordings. Even if you decide to rewatch it, that's like you will have access forever to the recordings of the live calls. So we all know sometimes we need a little reminder. So if you after a few weeks are like, I need a reminder, I have these limiting beliefs coming up again, I'm going to rewatch the Aligned Life Mastery Group Coaching, you will have access forever. And I'm so excited for this round because October, it's like the end of the year and we're getting ready for Christmas and for the new year 2024. And there's no better way than starting the new year living in alignment with yourself. So yeah, if you're keen to join, check out the link in my bio, in the show notes, not bio. You can also check out the link in my bio on Instagram for more information, or just simply click the link in the show notes. And yeah, let's get back to the question I got asked. And the question was, what are 3 things that you would do differently in hindsight, no matter how small, not as regrets, just life lessons, so actually positive? So yeah, what are 3 things that I would do differently? Maybe the first thing is leaving relationships that I deep down know are not right or not forever. It's not that I'm regretting any relationships I had, but I think now I would definitely make sure that I leave certain relationships earlier and not try to force something and not try to stay in a relationship where I not feel 100% myself, or even relationships where I know this is not what I visualize or where I see myself forever. You know what I mean? I mean, we all had relationships when we were younger, probably, and even sometimes I think I rushed in a relationship too fast, too quickly. It's not that I regret it. Like, it's just, yeah, in hindsight, I would just leaving relationships earlier than I did. Or, yeah, the thing is, often, unfortunately, we stay because it's what we know and we feel comfortable and we look at all the good things and not see, like, that there are a lot of things that don't align with yourself. Or, yeah, sometimes we don't see that there are some things that just never gonna work. Like, arguments are normal, and I always say, what is it called? Oh, no, the saying, I forgot. Like, thunder clears the air, or like a storm clears the air. Yeah, sometimes you just have to argue, I guess. But it's like other things. I feel like all of my friends, we are now in our mid-20s. I refuse to say I'm in my late 20s. I mean, I'm 27, so I am basically in between mid-20s and late 20s. But we all had this experience, and I think it's just part of the journey, like being in a relationship and figuring out it's not the right one, and then, yeah, the whole process of like breaking up and stuff. But I feel like you learn so much about yourself and what you're looking for in a person, like not in a bad way. Like, we're all different and sometimes it just doesn't fit and you can try to make it work. But if you deep down know it's not going to work and that's actually not what I want, like, yeah, I just would break up earlier, I would say. And I think, but still, I'm happy with all the experience I had because I learned so much about myself and I learned what I'm looking for in a partner. And I, yeah, experienced like my values or like, yeah, what's important to me. So wouldn't change a thing. But yeah, that's probably something I would do differently. I like, on the one side, yeah, I say I wouldn't change a thing, but the question was, what would you do differently? But not as a regret. So I hope you know what I mean. Like, it's not a regret, but I would do that differently. Break up earlier and not stay in a relationship just because it's comfortable and you're so used to it. Another thing, like another life lesson, I would say is not that I would do things differently, but like I said, like this is kind of like a weird question because it's what would you do differently, but not as a regret. So yeah, I'm trying to word it right. Anyway, something that I learned is that some friendships are only meant for seasons. Like, you know how we go through different seasons in our lives? For example, high school, then uni, then the first job, second job, then a season of life could be a new relationship, a season of life could be starting your own business. So these are like different seasons in your life. And something I learned is that some friendships are only there for a season, not in a bad way. Like, we grow apart, like we have different life stages, and maybe we find each other again. And we all probably have this, I have this handful of people or friends or maybe a few more, but I know that even though we are in different seasons of our lives, I know that we will find each other again. And I also know that if I don't hear from a person for 3 months and then we catch up, it's like we have seen each other yesterday. But I think it's important to know, or yeah, that it's normal that some people just stay in our lives for a season. And I mean, if we would be friends with everyone we've met, like from high school onwards, and try to stay in contact with everyone, it's just not possible. I don't know. So I think one thing maybe that to get back to the question, which was, What are 3 things that you would do differently in hindsight, no matter how small, not as regrets, but life lessons? I would say stop trying to fit everything in and accept that also some friendships are just for a season and that's okay. Also, what I want to say there is I love to socialize, but I also have a social battery that can run out really quickly. I need my me time. I love my friends and I love that they respect that I need a lot of me time. And that, so for example, having something on the weekend, Friday and Saturday night, and maybe catch up on Sunday with someone, that's too much for me. Like, as much as I love my friends, it's not against them, not at all, but sometimes it's just my social battery. I just need a day for myself. So if I think back of high school, where you are literally together with people, like from Monday to Friday, all day. I mean, it's the same at work, I suppose, but I feel like high school is another different thing because you kind of are social in high school, and at work you're more like doing your work. You're still social, but also like don't have your own thing to do, you know what I mean? But I don't know how I survived in high school. I must have had a bigger social battery. Anyway, what I want to say here as well is if your social battery is low and you need to recharge and be by yourself, take your time, girl. Like, recharge. It's so important. And I'm like, I go, like, if someone tells me, hey, I feel like I want to spend some time alone this weekend, or I just don't feel like socializing, that's fine. I just would ask, are you okay? Like, if you need anything, I'm here for you, because you never know what someone's going through as well. But it's so okay to take some time for yourself. So yeah, this is kind of 2 life lessons here. Like, some friendships are only meant for seasons, and also it's okay to recharge your social battery. So I might just share a number 4, because I had another life lesson, and that one is, one thing I would do differently or wish I had learned a bit earlier, not as a regret, is overthinking what other people may or may not think and start listening to my inner voice. So here's the thing, I feel like especially in high school, you start overthinking. I don't know, I can't remember that I've been overthinking in primary school. It's probably the more mature you get, or I've also been to a girls' high school. I don't know, it's probably in any high school. But you just start to overthink and you think about what people may or may not think of you. I also grew up in a little small town, a village, where everyone knows everyone. And I was part of this dance group. Literally every girl in our little village was in this dance group. But there was some drama going on, and I was just like, I'm so not here for the drama. I'm like avoiding drama wherever I can, and this is so not me. So I kind of distance myself from that. But yeah, just stop overthinking what other people may or may not think. Everyone has their own opinion, and it's just what it is. But don't waste any energy on overthinking what someone might be thinking or not. I always say, like, it's your life, and if you're overthinking a decision you make now and you overthink what people might think of you, I always say they might think something of you, yes, but in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, or in a month's time, or whatever, they will forget and their life, they move on, you know? And it's your life. You have to make your decision. So let's say, I don't know, let's say I decide to move to a different city. Or let's say I try to think of an example. But let's say I would sell everything and travel the world. Maybe my family would think I'm crazy. I don't know. Or people, I don't know, someone would think let's say I would overthink what people might think about me because I just moved to New Zealand and now people will think about me like I am the never settling person. who cares? Like, why would I make this stop me from doing what my inner voice tells me to do? Because it's my life, and if I overthink what other people might think, I'm losing the opportunity to go after what my soul sets on fire or what I want to do. And honestly, these people who might talk about you now, they won't talk about you in a month because they'll probably find someone else to talk about. So stop overthinking what other people may or may not think and start doing your thing. Start listening to your inner voice and your intuition. For a long time, I was caught up in that circle of what others may or may not think. And yeah, I just decided one day I'm just gonna do my thing. So what changed? I had like a moment where I let my inner voice guide me, and those were times where I just felt most alive and most authentic. It's like a simple thing like picking up a new hobby or a career change, or even going on like a little solo trip. Like 2 years ago, or like, yeah, 2 years ago, I went to Rekland by myself for like a week. It must have been 3 years ago now. But it was just so, I felt so good and so present. I remember writing in my journal that I felt so genuinely, that's a hard word, genuinely, no, I can't say it, that I felt so aligned, present, and so good. And I knew, like now I know the word is aligned. I think I didn't think about that back then and realized like I feel so myself right now. But anyway, that's something, yeah. These are my 3 life lessons, or maybe I put it into 4 actually. So the first one is leaving relationships earlier, or like when I started realizing this is not forever. The second life lesson is some friendships are only meant for seasons. And also the third one that I kind of squeezed in there is it's okay to recharge your social battery. And the fourth one is stop overthinking what other people may or may not think and start listening to my inner voice, or your inner voice. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free, like I said, to send me your questions. If you want me to talk about anything, just get in touch on Instagram. And yeah, just a little reminder, if you want to join me in my Aligned Life Mastery Group Coaching in October, check the link in the show notes or in my Instagram bio. I'd love to connect with you and help you to live alive in alignment with yourself and become the most authentic version of yourself, because shouldn't that be the goal, to live your true self? Anyway, I hope you have an amazing day. Well, that does it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in today. If you like this episode and don't want to miss any new ones, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share it with your friends or on social media. It really means a lot to me. It will help me to create this podcast. You can find me on Instagram, Johanna_Liana. I'm always happy to connect, so flick me a message if you want. Enjoy the rest of your day, and always remember, it's a beautiful day to have a good day. It's a beautiful day to be alive.